Is this man the new Dylan Mulvaney?
Hey everyone! A lot of you have been asking how I'm feeling now that I'm in week 3 of hormone therapy.
Josh Sider is a very stunning and brave trans woman. Or is he? Before I dive into his transition, who is Josh and what's his story? The 36-year-old Josh Sider has 960k followers on Instagram. He's mostly known for being a contestant on the 11th season of The Bachelorette, where he was eliminated in week 1. Leaving the reality show didn't stop Josh from trying to be famous. Last year, Josh allegedly faked his own death on Instagram. This is what Josh claimed happened.
Hey guys, as you can see, I am alive and well. My account was hacked. For the last 24 hours, I've been trying desperately to get into it. Somebody was playing a cruel joke and mocking my mental illness and the struggles I've gone through with depression and suicide attempts. I am going to do all I can with my team to try to identify who is behind this.
Right, you got hacked. As you just heard, he's talking about his mental health issues. And I found this post saying I'm always gonna include the moments in between the flash because those are the times where you can actually catch a glimpse of the real me. If you keep watching this video, you'll find out how ironic that is. That's who I want to share with you, the broken, hurting, human, real me. The reason I find this relevant is because this whole thing seems just as staged as him claiming someone hacked his Instagram and faked his death. He wrote a bunch of nothing in this post. It doesn't seem real, sincere, because he doesn't provide any details about what he's struggling with. And I know it's totally fine that you don't share your darkest thoughts online, but obviously he's vulnerable enough to post a picture of himself crying. He was this close to the camera but he wasn't able to describe what he's going through. That doesn't make sense, and I think it's BS. A couple of years ago, it was trendy to talk about mental health in the most superficial ways. The intention behind the trend was mostly about receiving attention. And I think that's why Josh, back in the day, talked about mental health. He claimed he had bipolar disorder. I think it's so wrong if that's not true. I can only imagine how difficult it is to deal with bipolar disorder. Later on, Josh decided to receive attention in a different way, asking people on Instagram what their political opinions are. And when you take a look at those posts, I think it's obvious to us all that he was just trying to get attention. When getting so many comments, it's good for the algorithm, and maybe he received many followers due to that. It's definitely good for business. Oh, I just noticed he didn't receive a bunch of comments, he received a bunch of votes. To be honest, I haven't seen it before on Instagram. Maybe I'm a little bit slow or stupid, but without knowing what this feature is, I'm guessing it's good for the algorithm. Moving on, back in 2021, Josh came out as a pansexual. I think he first identified as bisexual and then later pansexual. Like there's any difference.
I'm strongly attracted to men and women. I grew up very conservative and I was homeschooled my whole life up until college by born-again Christian parents. So it was really only after I got out of the house into college that I started to kind of realize that my whole thinking was what my parents had inculcated into my brain to think. So I viewed the whole world from what they had taught me. And it took years and years for that to kind of for me to shed that and kind of embrace my own thinking.
When Josh figured out that politics wouldn't get him anywhere, wouldn't make him famous, he was probably wondering, what can I do to be famous? It has to be easy, bizarre, and controversial. What are other celebrities doing to get so much easy attention? Maybe he looked at Elliot Page, Dylan Mulvaney. Well, that's not a maybe. He most definitely got extremely inspired by Dylan Mulvaney's transition. And the transition I'm talking about is the transition from being a nobody
Day 17 of being a girl, and I am the bearded lady. Ah!
to being extremely famous.
It's a she-they outfit of the day. I'm headed to the Netflix SAG Awards after party. It's definitely 5 inches too short.
Being friends with Lady Gaga, Drew Barrymore. Name any woman in Hollywood with a lot of cis-straight white guilt, and you'll know they're obsessed and love Dylan Mulvaney. If they're not friends with him. No matter what you think about Dylan Mulvaney, he has received awards, but most importantly, he has received millions of dollars faking being a trans woman. And it wouldn't surprise me if other people are inspired by that, because who wouldn't want to be a millionaire? Earlier this year, this is what Josh Sider posted on Instagram. Dear warriors, I have struggled with my gender identity and resulting feelings of guilt and shame for as long as I can remember. I spent the last 3 decades taking great pains to keep this side of me private. I felt I had no choice, given my upbringing in a strictly religious conservative family. As I have gotten older, I have tried my hardest to protect the expected image of a strong masculine son and brother. However, I no longer want to hide who I am, and I no longer want to deal with the mental turmoil that comes with suppressing such an important part, I guess, of me. So I ask for your thoughts and prayers and patience as I transition. I know it will take time for everyone, including myself, to adjust. I simply ask that you accept me now just as you did before. It's weird, when I read this, it doesn't seem that fake to me. But I think that's mostly because it's a written statement. If he made a video about it, using the exact same words, I would probably think it's fake. As you can tell, Josh was a pretty good looking man. He was really presenting. Oh my god, no. That's activist language. He looked quite masculine. And this is what he looks like today. Let's react to some of his viral videos about his transition.
Hey everyone! A lot of you have been asking how I'm feeling now that I'm in week 3 of hormone therapy. Well, I've definitely been hormonal. I've been really moody lately and probably not the best company for the people I've been hanging around, but I'm trying to stay positive and do my best. So it hasn't been easy, but I know it's going to be worth it. Just wanted to check in with you guys, give that little update. Bye everyone!
There's no way in hell this dude is on estrogen. Well, Marcus, he claims to be on it. Okay, but he most likely, allegedly, faked his own death to receive attention, so why wouldn't he lie about this? I low-key love his videos because he's making fun, well that's at least how I look at it. He's obviously making fun of Dylan Mulvaney. I gotta give this guy credit. He makes these statements that are so obviously controversial.
I have to be honest, I've seen a lot of the mean comments from other women under my posts, and I just have to say, we are all navigating girlhood together. And I think it's important that we work together instead of against each other. There's power in numbers, and helping each other and lifting each other up is always better than tearing each other down. Let's just navigate girlhood together.
They're so controversial that if you like following the trans debate, you feel like you have to say something. You have to comment on his videos. And what does that give him? Well, money in the end, if this works out for him, but it's good for the algorithm to comment on people's videos. This dude is not trans. He's not even a trans activist. At least trans activists believe that they are trans, just because they changed the definition to include themselves. But this dude is a troll. Take a look at the people he follows on Instagram. Lips of TikTok, a page where woke teachers get exposed for wanting to indoctrinate children. And radical trans activists are also exposed on this page. Ollie London, his story is so long, I'm gonna be here all night if I have to explain who he is to you. But he's cool. So, go follow him. Amber Rose, who recently came out as a Trump supporter. Conservative Ant, PragerU, and Donald J. Trump. If Josh Sider is trolling to make a bunch of money, I don't really have a problem with that. Mostly because it's so obvious that he's faking it. Like he's not even trying like Dylan Mulvaney. Another possibility is Josh is trolling the trans community. Woke people in general. He's trying to figure out how far he can go. I've said the same about Dilly Boy, but Josh is definitely trolling to see if people will still support him despite him being or acting like he's misogynistic, and kind of making fun of trans women and the trans experience in general. I wouldn't mind if that's his intention, because I love trolling and I think it's healthy to challenge other people's ideas. Now, of course, it's not a positive thing that some people believe he's real, believe he's truly a trans woman, because that is making a mockery of trans women. And it's of course also a problem that he has in the past, most likely, or should I say allegedly, faked having mental illnesses. That's not okay either. It's like downplaying what it actually means to struggle with your mental health. I think most people, trans activists included, do not believe he's trans and he's faking it. But wait a minute, I thought that the only thing that makes someone trans is that they claim to be it. I thought it was forbidden to question the people who claim to be trans, who don't look like the opposite sex, and most importantly, who do not want to look like the opposite sex. According to trans ideology, Josh, right here, is a woman. Not just a trans woman, but a real woman. Because women can have beards and a 10-inch long schlong. I'm being accused of every single day of gatekeeping who's a real trans and who's not. Activists have a problem with me filtering out the people who are faking it. Somehow in this situation, they're the gatekeepers. They gatekeep who's a real tranny and who's not. They might respond with, well, he's obviously faking it. So, according to your own rules, if he says he's trans, if he says he's a woman, he's a woman. It's almost like activists know themselves that it's a good thing to differentiate between the ones who are faking it and the ones who are truly struggling with something. In this case, we're talking about gender dysphoria. So yeah, fingers crossed that the narrative within the trans community about everyone who says that they're trans are it will change in the future. Thank you all for watching. If you want to see more content like this, remember to hit subscribe and the notification bell. If you want to support me and my channel, you can become a member, or I have my PayPal link in the description down below. Follow me on social media. I love you and I cannot wait to see you in the comments. Peace out.